Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our exclusive Sage 300 webinar session, where today we are going to share the topic for Sage 300 user. How do you make informed data-driven business decisions with our Sage Enterprise Intelligence? But before we deep dive, I want to share everyone that this webinar is interactive. Please feel free to send in your question at any time in the chat panel, and we will roll out the question in the later part. Now I'm going to ask Derek to come online to give a quick speech.
Hello everyone, this is Derek from Xsoft. We have been doing Sage for more than 14 years now and implemented hundreds of projects. So we understand what you want and we always looking to help you to work more efficient. I believe some of you might ask me, hey Derek, I want to generate extra report from the system. I want to retrieve some of the data and how can I do this? Well, you could export the data and report into Excel and start working on that. But however, it might not so flexible sometimes, and you need to be very good in Excel. And most importantly, you might need to repeat the same steps every time you want to refresh the data. Definitely that I'm happy that you came to us to customize the report tools. It means more revenue to us. All right, so but can we DIY yourself since that the informations that you need might change or might be different from time to time? So today topics is talk about how you can DIY yourself using the new features. With using the Sage Enterprise Intelligence, you can now easily look through your data live on the webs and retrieve the informations you need with using drags and drops. All right, it work on the web and give you a very easy way to navigate around as well. So without further ado, I'm proud to invite Mr. Gareth from North America to share with us more on on how the other company using these features. Hey Gareth, let me pass the presentation to you.
Thank you so much, Derek, and thank you, Lynn, and thank you to Axolf and Sage for putting on this great webinar today. We really are excited to be able to talk you through our solution, Sage Enterprise Intelligence, and talk to you a little bit about how we've helped benefit almost 3,000 customers around the globe to be able to make more sense of their data and reporting capabilities. So like Derek and Lynn mentioned, it's an interactive session today. Let's pop your questions into the chat. We're going to take a good 10 minutes at the end to go through Q&A, answer anything specific that you may need. But let's get into it now. So I'm going to share my screen and then I'm going to walk you through a quick PowerPoint presentation, just positioning the product, kind of where we fit in the market, and who we are as a BI and reporting and analytics tool. And then I'm going to jump into the product itself to show you a little bit about our solution and how we integrate with your Sage 300. So let me share my screen and put this in presenter mode. And you can all see that correct, yeah. So on today's presentation, we're going to be talking, like I mentioned, a little bit around how you can make better informed, data-driven business decisions. My name is Gareth Marks. I'm the Director of Business Development. I work very closely with the Sage Asia team, as well as the various business partners in the region like Axol. And we really do look forward to being able to present to you today. Before I get into the specific topics around SEI, Sage Enterprise Intelligence, I want to talk to you a little bit around why BI is a necessity today. And it's really come to fruition more than ever in the past couple of years that businesses truly have become more complex than ever before. But at the same time that businesses are becoming more complex, we're seeing that businesses are becoming more dependent on up-to-the-minute real-time information and data in order to be able to make those decisions. And even if you're able to see all of that data together or be able to understand the complexity, we see that data actually comes from a variety of different sources and systems. And integrating that together really does become extremely time consuming and manual processes for you as a business. And even once you have all of that kind of pinpointed, what we also see in organizations is that different parts of these organizations all see different levels of data, and they all have different types of information, which really makes collaborating quite difficult for an organization. And we found that without easy to interpret, visualizations, templates, something that can make sense of that critical data, you're always left with fragmented information, stuff that makes it impossible to track, core KPIs when it comes to finance, sales, inventory, CRM, etc., your different modules that you have. So all of that together, really in a nutshell, is where we sit right now with where BI is. And that's the perfect time for me to introduce our solution, Sage Enterprise Intelligence. So it really is the BI of choice for multiple Sage solutions. We currently have been sold in over 60 countries worldwide, with over 2,900 customers and represented by 300 partners worldwide. We do integrate into 12 Sage product lines. Importantly for yourselves is Sage 300 is one of our key integrations and always has been, and still going really strong with the development team that sits here in Vancouver, because I'm based in Montreal, Canada. So what is Sage Enterprise Intelligence, and as I'll call it throughout the rest of the presentation, SEI? Well, it is a fully integrated BI and data management solution. So you're going to see throughout the presentation, our goal is to help yourselves, the organizations, all make better informed decisions, all based on enterprise-wide real-time data. But not only do we help you make those decisions and kind of enable you as much as possible, we also want to empower our end users with a simple yet powerful interface that allows you to access and analyze data really in a self-sufficient manner. That's very key to us. And what does this look like in a little bit of a snapshot? And we kind of have 4 pillars that work with our solution. We first start off by talking around how we manage the data. So we have a full ETL tool, which we call the data sync, that allows us to centralize, to manage, to cleanse data, anything that's potentially coming from Sage 300 and multiple different third-party applications. So whether it be additional ISVs like AutoSimply, Service Manager, or whether it be a legacy system or potentially a third-party CRM, we centralize all that together in a data warehouse, bring all that multi-data together, whether it's cloud or on-prem, it doesn't matter, and we really consolidate that to give you one single kind of view of the truth. And once we've now narrowed that down and managed the data side of things, we really talk about gaining visibility and insights. So what does that mean to us? We want to look at your data in real time. We speak a lot about real time, but we do also have the OLAP Cube technology that allows us to build a data warehouse and a cube that requires incremental refreshes to see the data because you're looking at multiple different systems. So we do give you both options, again, depending on the amount of data. Maybe you don't want to be looking at it real time. That depends on you as an organization. And with all of that data, we show it to you in out-of-the-box views, dashboards, and reports. So everything that you're going to see in 5 minutes when I jump into the product itself, you're going to see that those all come out of the box standard with your solution. And this is all put together and brought to yourselves as a business. And then we have the goal, once we've now gained that visibility, what's the use of it all if we really can't empower all users? So we do that with a very intuitive interface. So you're going to see again throughout the presentation how simple it is to slice and dice, drag and drop information and pull all of that in. We also give it to you in multiple different interfaces. So we look at the web, mobile, and Excel platform. We know that particularly in the Sage 300 space, and your accountants are very familiar with Excel. So we do have a full Excel add-in solution that views data directly from Excel, pulls all that information, allows you to work in something that you're familiar with. However, you can also use the web or mobile application. The web application is great for slicing and dicing, for building dashboards, for presenting management packs, etc. But then, of course, your financial people potentially still want to look at working on Excel and manipulating data the way they always have for the past 20, 30 years. And all of that gives you the abilities to do sort of filters, pivots, KPIs, etc., really giving you that flexible reporting with over 100 different visualization types. And of course, lastly, we also have a really kind of strong and in-depth collaboration and scheduler tool. So that allows you to distribute reports based on different criterias, different security measures, scheduled out on a timely manner. And that all really does, again, allow for collaboration within your organization. That's very key, I think, for businesses like yourselves. Then what we always like to kind of focus on a little bit is some of the challenges that exist within organizations that we help, and kind of just in the industry, within the reporting, the data and analytics side of things. So I like to talk about some of the challenges that of course, hopefully we can help benefit, and you as an organization need to ask yourself these same questions. Do you have the inability, to access real-time data? Are you always relying on your IT, for simple changes to reports, or having kind of that one report master within your organization? Are you looking at data from different sources and they can't really be easily accessed and consolidated together? Do you have slow performance on those reports due to the large volume data? Do you have manual processes that, of course, cause errors, missed opportunities, and missed revenue? Is it difficult to consolidate multiple entities, databases, etc.? Or do you require multiple tools? These are all questions that we like to ask ourselves when looking at a reporting tool to kind of answer some of those challenges that you may have. This really leads me to the last thing before I jump into the product is why do Sage 300 users in particular like using and working with SCI? One of the things that's key is SCI has a multi-company consolidations module that allows you to consolidate all of your different entities that you have, your multi-companies that sit, and be able to allow you to have one holistic view of the truth of your data. We also have the Excel add-in, which I've already mentioned, but I'll mention again, just the ability to be able to report on something that you're familiar with. We also do a little bit of budgeting and forecasting. I wouldn't say that we are a budgeting and forecasting tool, but because we view all the data, we do give you that extra ability, which really does help, as well as adding optional fields in reports. And then lastly, but not least, we also have the ability to seamlessly convert Sage Intelligence, not to be mistaken for Sage Enterprise Intelligence reports. So we can actually take those reports and just convert them at the click of a button, so that what you've done and built in your Sage Intelligence can really still work over there and be that for you. So with that, I'm going to jump into the demonstration. Please, if you have any questions on that, just pop it into the chat. Again, we will be answering that at the end. I am going to turn my camera off just for the demonstration part, but I hope that you can all still hear me. And again, thank you for this opportunity to present to you today. So I've already logged in. I'm just going to reload the page because I had this opened up a little while ago. I'm going to re-log into SCI, and SCI right now is going to open up kind of a blank screen. You're going to see a blank screen over here, and we're going to have on the left-hand side a control panel. This control panel, as you can see, has first of all your data models and views, then your dashboards, then your reports, as well as any worksheets, and of course you can favorite any of those. Within these data models and views, this is where kind of the magic happens with SCI. I again take a step back. I've already logged in under the correct security measures. You can of course have that set up per user as well. But what these data models and views are, as you can see here, we have Sage 300. Once I click on that, it opens up a kind of drill down where it gives me all the different modules that exist within Sage 300. So your accounts, payables, receivables, finance, sales, PJC, purchase and inventory, etc. Within each of these reports, there is multiple different reports. So these multiple different reports that we have show things like AP aging, historical, vendor, and within all of these reports, there's another couple, 3, 4, 5, 10 reports, depending on what you're looking at. I'm not going to open up all of these, and I will dive into it to show you a little bit around and familiarize yourself with it. We do have over 270 reports that come standard out the box with the Sage 300 out of the box integration. That's on the Sage 300 side. We've also done an integration into Service Manager as well as AutoSimply. And those are two other key ISVs within or tech partners, I should say, within the ecosystem. And then lastly, we have our universal data model. So the universal data model is what I'd mentioned to you, where we have the OLAP queues, where we can pull in multiple different sets of data to be able to give you one holistic view of it. And again, within that, we have finance, sales, budgeting, and forecasting. And again, within that, we have multiple different reports that you can use and play with. I will open this up in a second, but just to show you quickly, we have the same thing when it comes to dashboards and workbooks, and then we'll get into that in a bit. So let's open up one of these reports to show you a little bit of how it looks. I'm going to open up a very simple report for the sake of the presentation today. I'm going to go to my sales analysis, and I'm going to open up my sales by item. Once I open this up, you'll see right now you're viewing, again, a very basic report that shows you a bunch of data, pulling information from your Sage 300. And let me talk you through a little bit how this works, because this is where the majority of our customers spend their time. They manipulate the reports, they play with their data in what we call a worksheet. Once they have this, they then manipulate that and push that into a dashboard, which again, I'll show you how to do. But let me walk you through this a little bit over here. So we have our groups, pivots, and columns. The groups is my product code. I only have one group, so that's what you're seeing over here. I'm not pivoting on anything. I'll show you how to do it in a second. And within my data, I have my customer name, document number, quantity sold, net, cost, profit, and my home currency profit. Once I drill down, I'll be able to then see the customer name as well as the document number. This you can integrate directly with your Sage 300. Well, it is, I just don't have it because it's demo data, but then you can go ahead and link to, and this would take you to your Sage 300 environment. Again, it's not going to open up because this is my dummy demo data, but this can pull that information. You can go and see this exact document number, which is very key for your organization. So on the right-hand side, you see this. And again, I'm just really talking you through the layout here. We'll start manipulating the data in a second. We have our multiple different settings and types that we have. So you can go ahead and you can change all of your theme general. You can change the headers. You can put the total row at the top, at the bottom. You can make it a different grid content, etc. Make it different colors, anything that you want to do. You can play with this and then save it like that, and I'll show it to you the next time. We also have different view types, calculations, sharing, etc., and I'll show you each one. The very important one is what we call our dimensions and measures. These dimensions and measures come directly from your Sage 300. And this is where we talk about drag in and drop in. Within this is everything that sits and exists within your Sage 300. If you have customized your Sage 300, we can pull this on the back end very easily. But you can simply pull this information in that allows you, to take this period. So let's say, for example, I want to see my fiscal year. I want to also see my period. You can simply just drag and drop that information for you. Simple as that. And now I'm looking at my data. Again, this is demo data, so 2019, 2020, and 2022. And once I drill down, I can then see the different periods that was sold. I can also go ahead and let's just exclude one of these because this doesn't have much data. So I just click on it and I simply say exclude, and then I can pivot on my years. So now you see 2019 and 2020 kind of comparing side by side over here with that data, which is again quite key for your business and for your organization, just to be able to slice and dice information. You're looking at a very different report as to what we had in the beginning. In addition to slicing and dicing, now I've just showed you a quick fiscal year and fiscal period example. This was, again, just something quick off the top of my head, but you can pull, again, everything that you need. If you want to see your product information, you want to see your location information, your order, these are all the different dimensions. And then if you want to see the different descriptions and measures, again, absolutely everything that sits within your Sage 300, you can be able to see that information over here for yourselves. And then you can just simply drag and drop that information, and that will bring all of that for you. Let's go like this, and let's quickly just remove this period because I want to actually just drill down on something and show you a little bit over here as to how this looks and how this works. So what we're looking at here now is a report, but I want to be able to, let's say, manipulate this report that allows me to, you know, make a little bit more sense of it. So what I want to do is I want to be able to go and format this. So I did that too quickly. I go over here and I click conditional formatting, and I'm going to set a new condition for these reports. Now I've done this on the home currency profit, and I want to, let's say, see anything that's between 0,01 and 0, let's go like this, 49. And I want to be able to highlight that as a negative. So I'm just putting that in red. And with a little thumbs down, I'm going to say, okay. In addition, let's do a kind of positive KPI that I'm going to go ahead and create. And I'm going to say anything that's greater than 50. Let's pull this. Let's give this and put this in green over here. And simply do that. And I'll say, okay. And then again, because this is demo data, let me get rid of these two. I just want to exclude this. And I think I saw another one over there. Perfect. There we go. So now I'm seeing a small little KPI that I've just gone ahead and created. Very simple and very easy. And now you can actually go ahead and save this report as this, and then you can open it up in this way. Now you can set these KPIs across the board with any and every single report. I've now only opened up one. Again, there are over 270 different reports that we have that come with our solution. Out of the box, you can, of course, go ahead and create as many as you want from scratch, but these are some of the standard ones that come out of the box. In addition to that, there are many different things that we can do with this report when it comes to sharing. So we can go ahead and export this. So we can export this directly to Excel, PDF, etc. We can also email this off. And one of the nice things is the send comment. So for example, this is one that we get often internally. We'll see something over here and the boss will go, what's going on over here and over here and etc. And he'll go and mail that off to us. And just quite quick and easy way to send this off. You can also set a condition that this will automatically send at month end if, for example, you sell under margin or under profit, so that can at least flag and alert the necessary people. In addition to sharing within the page, we also have a full distribution module. So let me open that up for you. We have a full distribution module that allows you to go ahead and create this distribution based on potentially a schedule or a condition. So first of all, you'd give a name to it. Then you would go ahead and you would choose which report. So let's just say, I want this, 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 and that. Now, again, all of these reports are within your organization. I can also take some Excel reports. I can consolidate multiple reports onto one. I can then go ahead and create my user group. And it's important about the user groups because I haven't touched on security yet. We have 3 levels of security within SEI, and I'll explain those to you right after I finish with this because it's easier on the other page. But then you go ahead and choose your user groups and you add your condition, which again we can create, and then you can go and write an email and you can schedule this to be sent off and automated at a certain time, Monday mornings, or based on a condition, completely up to you and how you choose to do it. So just back to the security before I show you a couple of other things in this report, and then I jump to some more financial reports and some dashboards. The different levels of security, the first level of security will be this screen. So for example, if you have a sales rep, maybe you don't want them seeing your finance and your AP and your AR, or maybe AR is important, but just maybe your finance is not important. So they, first of all, wouldn't see this whole folder. Again, you can set it up like that. In addition, there's the next level. The next level is the ability to only see certain dimensions and measures. So let's say you open up this report, but you don't want them to see potentially the cost that's associated to it. So you can hide that from them and kind of set that up as a field in a user group that doesn't see that. And then the last level is only seeing their data. So again, talking about a sales rep could potentially see all of the information, but only for themselves. They couldn't see another sales rep's numbers. So those are the 3 levels of security. They are very comprehensive, kind of across the board that we have for our organization. So with that, I wanted to show you what else we can do with these reports, and it's quite useful and exciting, but I want to just bring something in over here to be able to show you how to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my fiscal period in. And again, I'm just dragging and dropping this information. And then I'm going to show you the different view types that we have. So right now you're looking at a worksheet. But let's say I wanted to see this data in potentially a bar chart, a line chart. We have multiple different types. This is really good, you know, when comparing things side by side. We have a different line charts, which is great with, you know, comparing budget versus actual, etc. Pie chart, we have a different location, so you can set up over here if you have different stores, who's doing best, etc. And I'll show you how that looks in a moment. And then different types of KPIs that we have: spark lines, we have word clouds, gauges, KPIs, different scatter graphs, combinations, etc. And how this works, it's very simple. We'll just change this to a vertical because again, it's trying to make sense of the data that's for you. Of course, you don't want to see profit percentage in this because that doesn't really make sense. And then let's take this out over here and see just the kind of sales net versus cost. And we don't really care about the quantity sold. So let's take that out as well. So right now we're looking at your sales net versus your sales cost, comparing that 2019 and 2020. And then you can simply go and drill down on this information. And then this will show you the different periods that were behind the year. Again, forgive me for my demo data not being as nice as what it could be. But you understand how easy it is to change that and compare it and be able to see. And then you can also add spark charts, line charts, etc. So all very, very easy to manipulate and work together with this. And then, for example, if you wanted to save this report, now let's say this is good for yourselves and you want to save that. So let's go ahead and save this. And then I'll just say, webinar March 15th. Boom. And I'll confirm and I'll save that. Now, the next time you open up this report, it will look like this, a completely different report. And again, you've now just sliced and diced information as simple as can be and easy. And that's where I'm going to jump into the next part. So we've taken a worksheet, we've manipulated the data, we've seen it the way that we kind of want to. And what that kind of brings us to is very importantly the dashboards. This is always very exciting for business owners and organizations to be able to see and make sense of all their data. So let's go ahead and open up one. We have multiple different versions. You can, of course, also create your own very easily from scratch. But let's look together at one of these for yourselves. So right now we are looking at a much better looking version than the one I just created on the fly. But we're looking at multiple different view types put together for your organization. So we're looking at things like your invoice quantity, your cost, your margin, percentage, and all these are based on the filter at the top. So right now we're looking at 2020 in your period 5. This is dynamic. You can go ahead and change that and you can simply apply and you'll see it will change this to where it's meant to be. Let's put it back to 5 because there's more data over there. For your organization to see. As you saw, the period didn't change the month-to-month growth because it wouldn't make sense because this is showing it over a whole year period. So it doesn't matter what period you're showing. This is showing an annual for 2020. It will only show something different if I change that to 2019. Now you'll see it changes this. So again, it is a very smart and dynamic report. So right now you're looking at your top 10 products, your month-to-month growth, and your different geographical locations that we have. It gets also dynamic. So let's say, for example, I want to see my top 10 products by invoice. This is set up in descending order. So I want to see and add this to my filter because I want to see my month-to-month growth just on this product. So this will then show me my month-to-month growth. As you saw when I clicked, that actually changed. Again, I did it maybe a bit fast, but there you go. It shows you how that has changed for yourselves. These reports, the same way as the previous ones, are completely customizable. So let's go ahead, and right now you see you're looking at this sales by state. Right now I have no data there, so it doesn't really make sense to me. So I'm going to simply remove that, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, what did I say that as? March 15th webinar. I'm actually just going to bring that, what I just created, into this report. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to exit this toggle mode, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drill down on this information. I'm going to see the various data over here. Of course, I've got to go ahead and change this name, and that just takes a couple of seconds. But that's how simple and easy it is to customize these dashboards. You can take any report out of those 270 different view types that we have, and you can actually just drag and drop that information. Or if you don't like this, you can kind of, let me go ahead and delete this one. You can actually just drag and drop the whole data model. So let's say I want to see my account summary, and then it will prompt me to ask me what I want to see. So let's say I want to see a vertical chart. I want to base it with my company code, etc. I'm not going to create this for you now on the fly, but that's how simple and easy it is to just drag and drop that information. Now, I've kind of stuck on sales for a second, but I think it's a very good time for me to show you some of the other integrations that we have and we've done, and the different data models that we had. Because of course, sales is just easy to talk to for everyone on the line, but finance is very important when it comes to your organization. I'm very sure about that. So let's go ahead and look at, let's see over here. Let's go potentially my AP. Am I looking at the correct one? Yes, let me go ahead and look at my AP over here and then my historical side. So I'm going to just open up a report and I'm going to click confirm again. There's multiple different ones that we have. Now this is AAP, and we also have AR reports, but this is actually historical overdue balance. So this is now showing me my buckets, my aging buckets that we have based on the same criteria. And again, last time we were looking at sales, now we're looking really purely at financial data. So it works exactly the same as the last one that I showed you. We have our date. Within our date, we then have our company code. Once we have our company code, we have our transaction currency, as you see, CAD, USD, etc. Once we drill down on that, we then have our vendor ID. And within that, I can then drill down and I can then see my document number. Once I see my document number, I can see my payment number, and then I can also see my payment type. And lastly, you can drill down and see the actual posting date. Then within that information, I can see the amount due, total, and again, the aging bucket that we have. I see I selected one that doesn't really have too much aging over there. But again, you can quite easily see it over here when drilling down and actually basing it on your different vendor IDs that you have. And you can see quite quickly who has the most in the 121 days plus. You can see it over here, kind of sits around quite a large number, and it's quite easy for you as an organization to try and go ahead and make sense of that. So again, this is looking directly at all of your invoices and transactions that sit within your Sage 300 environment that allows you to see this information. And again, like I mentioned, this works exactly the same way that the previous worksheet works. You can simply slice and dice. You can take stuff out. Let's say I don't care about whatever the currency amount. Let's say I don't want to, I don't actually care about looking at the 31 days or the 60 to 90 or this. I really only care about anything over the 90 days. And I'll now go and refresh all of that data, because we are looking at quite a lot of data over here, and then pull that information just showing you the 91 days plus. And again, you can now save that report if that's how your organization wants to see it. And again, you can add in all of the different dimensions and measures that we offer to you for your organization. And in the same way that I showed you how we went from a sales worksheet into a dashboard, we have multiple different dashboards that come with the finance side. I'm not going to go through them all, but again, we have multiple different ones. I'll just open up one so you can see, for example, your financial performance that we have. And again, now you're just looking at multiple different view types, including a balance sheet within your organization. that we have. So your debt to equity, your working capital, return on asset, return on equity, etc. If you want to go ahead and look at this report alone, we can simply maximize that. And then again, you can drill down or drill up. And you can go ahead and then see all that information and etc. And then you can go ahead and actually play with that data. So really showing you that you can kind of manipulate the data again as much as possible and show you as much as you would like to see. With that, I did want to kind of jump into one of the other key things that we've recently done. We've recently built the integration with a couple of our other ISVs, so the Service Manager and the Order Simply side. We also have other things within our Sage 300 that I don't know if I'll have time to show you it all today, but we have things like our project and job costing, we have purchasing, inventory, order entry, etc., as well as any other financial reports. But let's open up. We've built a couple of dashboards for our Service Manager and our Order Simply. And again, this just shows the integration into a third party. So now we're looking at your Sage 300 and your Service Manager information that we have. And you can see kind of your top 10 agreements, your bill to date, cover to date, costed to date, amount by plan, etc., your top 5 sites, and all of that information again that you need. So quite key, the ability to have that integration that we've built with the other ISVs within the ecosystem. Again, just showing the value of all the collaboration together within the Sage world. If you have any questions on the dashboards, again, please pop them into the chat. It's definitely something that we'll touch on at the end. I do want to close some of these. I'm going to make sure I'm not keeping all these tabs open. So let's just close some of this information over here. And then I want to go into next, which is very exciting for us, is the Excel add-in on the web application. So what I mean by that is we've used a technology called React, where we've been able to completely replicate Excel functionality in the web application. And you might ask why we've done that. The reason that we've done that is because we know the real value of Excel and how much our end users do it. However, there's a bit of a push for cloud at the same time. There's a push for all these automatic updates. So we're really trying to future-proof Excel and our product by doing this. So the ability to work with Excel directly embedded within Sage 300, which I realize I haven't spoken about yet. Another key benefit of SCI is that we can embed directly within your Sage 300 web screens. But having the ability to still work within Excel while on a cloud solution or on the go, there's other benefits like using your tablets, using your iPads. Mac users can use this as well. And this gives you the full functionality that exists within our Excel plugin, our Excel add-in that we have. You can now use this directly within your web application. So you see I'm on my web. I could be embedded directly within Sage 300. And right now I'm looking at a consolidated balance sheet, which is consolidating 2 different companies across 2 different years and pulling all of that information together. And you'll see at the top on the home page is everything that you are very familiar with. All of your functionalities that exist within Excel sit here. You can then go ahead and open up a new worksheet. I'll just let this load the data, and you can simply sit and manipulate and pull information the same way that you would within your normal Excel. In addition to that, we have the add-in part, which is where SCI integrates with Excel. So we've combined the power of SCI and Excel together to give you the options to do additional stuff outside of what Excel can do. Things like your formula wizard, your drill down, your data extractions, your different functions that we have, your pivot wizard and the duplicator. All of these are available to you to use within the Excel platform, Excel-like platform, I should say. Again, everything that you're very familiar with. There are additional things that are quite nice. You can do kind of like, you can have a camera and a screenshot. So for example, you can take this and you can see different data that you want to look at, and you can actually take a screenshot of that and then paste that directly within a kind of PowerPoint or somewhere else that you want within your organization, and it still manipulates real data. Now, this report that I'm looking at is still dynamic, so I can go ahead here and I can change the period to 5 and click enter, and you're going to see it's going back to my database and loading all the formulas and fetching all of the data that we have, and then we'll simply bring that information in for you as an organization and change that data. So now you're seeing your balance sheet based on period 5 with the year 2020. And again, we can change this to the year, the period, the currency type, whatever you choose. Again, this is pulling all the information directly from your Sage 300. With today's session, I'm not going to jump into the Excel standalone, but just know that we do have many videos online that are able to show you that. I just wanted to show you the new platform, which was just released, and it's been having kind of incremental releases based on the different features and functionalities, but the final full version will be released next month with all of the different tools and tips and tricks that we have available for you as a new solution. So with that, I see the time, we're now at 22. So I wanted to quickly just go back to my PowerPoint and talk a little bit about the roadmap and the future of the solution. Oh, I jumped a little bit too far back. So let me just quickly, perfect. So I want to talk a little bit about the roadmap. And like I said, please keep your questions. We will answer them all for you in just a couple of minutes. And then I know I'm also going to hand over to Derek to kind of close off. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the future of this solution. So if this is something that you think your business and organization would need, we know all businesses and organizations need an analytics report, and we know that we are a great solution for Sage 300. But you as an organization would want to know where our product is headed and the future of the product. So when we look at our product roadmap, we're talking about 4 key things when we talk about the future. Of course, the main one, which I almost feel like it should be all 4 bullets, is how do we integrate AI into business intelligence and reporting. So we are investing heavily in this. We've also partnered with PhD students at a local university that are helping us with this to be able to do things like, formula bots, online help, smart cash, predictive, prescriptive analysis, all of this making your life a lot easier as a user. The next thing that we're looking at doing is a scalable cloud infrastructure. So we are really pushing that on our side to be able to help, those automatic updates that we have. No longer people are going to be on older out of date versions. Really just every month or every, I think it's 6 weeks, we're looking at doing a new version upgrade all automatically online for yourself, and we're able to accommodate that. What else we're doing is, I hope you didn't think this, but I'll be very honest with you. Our user interface and experience is now 4 years old. So we are ready for the next step, and we are going to be doing a complete UI and UX redesign. We have seen the prototypes. It looks amazing. So all the colors, dashboards, the way the charts look and work, everything, how it works behind it will be the same. It's really just that visual experience for yourselves. We've just spent the last 8 months investing in that. So we're really excited to implement that, and it should be in the next coming months as well. And of course, data processing is quite key when we look at the roadmap. And how does that look for you? Looking at this from a timeline, a date point of view, we're starting with our first AI, which is our AI online help. That's really quite key for you when it comes to supporting tickets. So all that we do is any ticket that gets logged on or any information that you have, we read our whole database to be able to give that to you. Of course, I don't like using this term because it's been overused a million times, but kind of the way ChatGPT works, and the other things like the dashboarding and completing the web workbooks. When we move to 2025, we're really talking about AI narrative and kind of data storytelling. So what will happen is it will look at a dashboard and it will tell you a story of that. So it will tell you and make sense of that data to you in word format. So it gives you information as a person and kind of telling you, and you won't have to try and read the data and make sense of it. Other things like big data, data gateway, etc. And then on to 2026, we're going to be working at predictive and prescriptive analysis, and furthermore in 2027. So with that being said, last slide, sorry, I was before I hand over to Derek. We do have a couple of resources available to you. We have a YouTube link, our website, our online help, and as well as e-learning. Go ahead and check the YouTube if there's anything specific. We have always 10 minutes, sometimes 15, sometimes 7-minute videos on specific topics. So if you want to just see how to build dashboards, there you go. If you want to just see financial reporting, if you want to just see Excel, there's definitely a 7-minute video on there for you as well. So you can head over and I'll share this with you all afterwards. So with that being said, I would like to hand over to Derek and the team just to kind of kick off on the Q&A part. And I'll also stop sharing my screen. There we go. So do we have any questions so far? Let's go ahead and look in the chat.
Hi, thanks, Garrett. I will have the question to be raised here. There are some questions from the floor. I'm sharing my screen right now.
Oh, perfect. I can see.
Yeah. So the question one, key topic about cash flow. How user can define the cash flow category. Under each category, can cash flow item be defined or not? Now the question about the second one is about 300 users. There is also a need to monitor their cash flow actual versus what they have budgeted the cash flow on the monthly basis. So in this momentum, how do we define the report column with the actual and budget or forecast column here?
Oh, absolutely. So the way I was showing on that worksheet, within the dimensions and measures, we have the ability to see each category, and then we can have the cash flow items defined there as it is in your Sage 300. And we can just simply pull that down either as a drop-down pivot, or we can put that into a dashboard and compare it side by side. And that would be a very key way to look at it when you're looking at your actual versus budgeted. So I showed a report which showed cost versus profit. Or sorry, cost versus amount sold, and then we did a calculation to find the profit amount. You can do exactly the same thing, just actual versus budget. You can even create different calculations to see how close to budget are we, and then you can simply define those reports. So very easy and a very common request that we have. Just as long as the data is all sitting where you want it to be, we can pull that information in and show it to you.
Okay. Question two, is there any analytics tool available for future forecasting? This is one of the key asks as well.
Absolutely. So we do a bit of budgeting and forecasting. So what we do is we look at the data and we're able to forecast based on different percentage growths that we have. So for example, if you want to just look at last year's data or the last 5 years data and do 5%, 10%, etc., we can do that. When it comes to full budgeting and forecasting, there are tools available for that, but we do give you your needs if you have more basic forecasting needs. Then we are a good fit for yourself. If you have complex forecasting needs, I would recommend going to a full forecasting tool.
Okay. The next question 3 is very common for our Sage user. They have managing the line of business. They also have to report the different kind of dashboard, where they sales, the CSO, they are managing with the head of product business unit here, the finance controller, and even to the management. Do we have this template dashboard ready for the user?
Absolutely. So we have, I had opened up a couple of sales reports. So we have sales director reports, sales manager reports. We also have CFO, financial manager reports. So we do have all of that available for you, as well as the kind of from a product point of view. All of that's delivered to you. There are some of them that may be named something different. So for example, you want a sales director, we potentially have sales performance. And you can simply just change the name or choose it however you be. And if you need to manipulate that report, I'd also showed in the presentation how easy it is to delete a certain component of it and bring something else in. If something is more specific to that executive or that head of department as that they want to see, you can simply do that. So yes, absolutely. We have those all standard out the box for yourselves. I also want to add, sorry, just one more thing. We also have a full universal data model website that shows you all of the different KPIs that come with those reports. So again, I can actually share that in the link afterwards with the team to all the attendees.
Yeah, that sounds good. The next question is quite related with the previous question. It's down to the report as well. Can they build the report with different filter because they are managing with different team member? They want to subscribe in a different frequency, whether it's week, monthly, quarterly, or even year end. And the user do not want to manually send. Is there any automated sending? Is possible to build in here?
Absolutely. So we can simply build multiple different reports with different filters for different teams, give them different names, different managers, etc. Or we can set it up as different security levels. And then we have a full distribution module. So it's called the scheduler on the home page, and you can go ahead and schedule those reports to be sent out. Those reports are sent out however you choose to do it, whether you choose to send them every morning, whether you choose to send them Monday mornings, whether you choose to send them based on a condition when need be, when data comes into them. So yes, everything is absolutely automated. You can also put multiple reports together, which is quite key. So we can build a reporting pack. So you can put 10 different dashboards or 10 different financial reports or sales reports in one dashboard and send it as a reporting pack PDF to the different managers.
Just want to add on here, even if the 300 user they are on leave, will not be interrupted. It will be still sending automatically without any interruption, right?
Exactly.
Cool. Okay, I think that's about the question we have from the floor. Any other question you may want to ask now, and I will pass the airtime to Derek.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gareth, for the demonstrations. All right, I can see that there are still some questions coming in, but due to the time constraints, we might not be able to answer your questions right now. But don't worry about that. I will actually drop you guys an email after that, then and follow up with you. All right. So I believe that all of you was very excited about the new features and want to know more about how can these new features to work on your system. All right. As you can see, the navigation was so simple, and you don't even need any training to generate your own dashboard. All right. Retrieve your informations or generate a new report. So the implementation is also very straightforward. As you can see that all the dashboard and reports that you see just now, all right, that shown by Gareth, was all pre-built and pre-configured. And it will work on your data immediately once you install and activate the functions. All right. And definitely that for those customers that wish hosted in our cloud managed services is even more easy as we will take care all the setup for you. Okay, so let's talk about the cost. All right, so these features, the new features, very cost effective because it was on a subscription plan. You can also stop the subscription while during the next renewal, but I'm pretty sure that once you start using that, and definitely that you will love it. So furthermore, this tool is not only meant for account department. You can also assign to a user to the other departments like purchase, like sales department for them to view the information they want to see. All right, definitely that you can further limit on what information you want to show them. All right. So what next? All right. I believe that you would like to know what other report or dashboard being pre-built in the system. All right. And you want to take a look at all these things. So don't worry about that. Just drop us an emails or maybe give us a call. So we will make the necessary arrangement for you. So we will arrange a next demo to you. All right. Specific to your company. All right, so I think due to time constraint, before we finish, is there any other thing else on Gareth and Link side?
No, I just wanted to thank you all for the opportunity again to present today. I really hope that you're able to see the business benefits from it. I try to show as much as possible. There is a whole lot to the solution. So if there's anything specific that anyone wants to see, please reach out to the Axel team, and we'll gladly help do something specific for you. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Gareth. Don't worry about that. So I will follow up with the customers, and then if there's anything else, that I will get back to you.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, cool. So once again, thanks everyone for taking your time to share. Thanks everyone to actually take your time to attend this particular webinar. So let us know if we can help you. Then I believe that we will end the webinar here. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. Bye bye.